Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to From the Depths with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to the campaign after quite a long time. In today's episode, we have one very simple goal, which is to scout out the new lands before we start properly conquering it, because right now we are on the second faction, and we have already spotted one of their resource zones. So what we're going to do is we're going to move over our entire fleet all the way across here into this rather dangerous looking zone over here so that we can claim yet another resource zone. From there we can start sending out scouts and hopefully by the end of the episode we can have at least found the enemy HQ or simply destroyed it, one of the two. And of course we are also going to be testing out the Amphibious tank we built in the previous video, so hopefully it will do incredibly well in the campaign, as it has done incredibly well in all rounds of testing. Now off camera, as you can probably see here, in this lovely red stylized hex pattern, I suppose, we have shields. We have lots of shields. In fact, they are some of the strongest shields I've ever built on a craft, excluding the extremely large crafts like the endgame stuff from the main campaign. So all of the shields are strength 8 or strength 9, with a few exceptions which are only strength 6, which are essentially acting as an overlapping extra shield. So these things will deflect pretty much anything. The only problem is because of their strength, I've had to place them very close to the armor itself, so explosive rounds with inertial fuses, things like cram cannon shells or just advanced cannon shells with inertial fuses, will bounce off one of the shields, detonate, and still do a fair bit of damage to the armor. Now thankfully, there's also a lot of armor, so this thing shouldn't die too easily. Also, I have now added anti-missile missiles. These are all missile interceptors, which also have radars attached to them, and flares, meaning that missiles will naturally go after our missile interceptors and simply go to their own demise. They are extremely effective, excuse the little burp there whilst I was trying to talk, but there is one issue, and it's actually going to have to be redesigned later, but I'm simply out of time for that as I really want to go into the campaign. And it's because they're all facing upwards, and because this is a sub-vehicle, when all of the guns start firing, the sub-vehicle itself can sometimes rock, and if it rocks when it first fires the missile can take all of that velocity and sort of go backwards or straight to the side into the water. So some of the missiles simply don't do what they're meant to, and I've tried everything. I even tried a lure script for one of the first times, and there is very little we can do unless I can somehow remove all of the recoil, or simply have the missiles facing forwards. So that's what we're going to do in the future, probably going to add 2 missile pods, one on either side, heavily armor it up again, and then use the space here, possibly for extra ammo or something else. So, either way, I'm going to move my fleet over now, and hopefully we can be pirates once more and take over another resource pod. This has to be one of the weirdest bugs From the Depths has ever had. If you log out of the game when you have your vehicles currently in play, and then load back that save, all of the barrels of the vehicle you are currently on turn blue. I don't know why this happens, but apparently it does, and it happened to my ship earlier as well, so it isn't just a one-off. Well, it's different. I should also very quickly mention that now I've changed the control blocks, and this is why I needed to reload because they were glitching out, so that the shields are off unless there is an enemy present, which means when we're not in combat, this vehicle consumes almost no resources because the boilers also turn down when the battery is at full or close to being completely filled. So, it's just been made far more efficient. And now finally, let's get into a battle. Well, that was unexpected. Before we even get into the first battle, here we are finding their second resource zone and their main HQ. Well, if we're fast enough, we could possibly take out both of the resource zones before the enemy HQ can spawn a second attack. So far, it's already sent one attack against us since we declared war. Hopefully, it won't send a second, since we don't really have many defenders. Our fleet is currently down here. I've made a slight alteration, and I've decided coming up from over here will just be a lot easier, since we have all of this water to play around in. If we try to go like this, we're probably going to crash into something. Oh dear. There is an enemy named Mining Laser. I'm assuming that the mining laser may or may not have a mining laser attached to it. Also a buzzsaw and then some smaller craft in the air as well. Yeah, this may end up badly. On the upside, I have actually remembered to turn on all of the detection systems, so at least we can fire back. And hopefully it stops raining before the battle starts, because I don't really want the first battle to be almost unwatchable. Thank you, weather. Well, here we go then, and for some reason I'm currently dying. I actually don't know why this is. I'm currently on my craft, so that shouldn't have happened. Maybe I fell off whilst I was trying to set up all the guns. Anyway, that will be fixed as soon as the battle starts, so don't worry, this green fuzz will go away. Let's have... Honestly, I would like the Blogles to be a little bit close, so that they draw some fire. Since they're going to go straight underwater, it means they are going to be very resistant against missiles and against lasers. So we want them ahead of everything else. Let's put the end game somewhere far back. The end game is the current name for our tank. Don't worry, that will be changed as well. Like how I've been promising changes for the Bloggle and the Minicorn. Eventually it will actually happen. Maybe something like that. I have not got a good feeling for this. And so the battle begins. So there we go, lasers are flying everywhere already. And by the looks of things, they're not going for the Bloggles. Most likely their AI is telling them to not fire at things under the water. So these are the mining lasers then. They are really, really cute. I wonder how strong those lasers are. I'm hoping not that strong, because we have almost no defenses against them. And then this is the buzzsaw. And yep, that looks absolutely terrifying, so hopefully that can be killed long before it gets to us. Now, I'm fairly certain there were some flyers. Were there not? Am I going insane? Well, I can't see the flyers, so maybe they were a separate group, because we are on maximum in terms of the size of this battle, and normally that would include absolutely everything. So, let's continue. Lots of shots there from our tank aimed at the mech. Incoming missiles from the Bloggle doing a fair chunk of damage there, and wow! The tank is now aiming for one of the lasers, and there is one of the main cannon hits. The other laser is also heavily, heavily damaged. Now, sadly, because of the weather, I am going to have to briefly pause time just to see what's happening to my forces, because otherwise I simply can't see. It's taken some damage, but thankfully the brunt of it is hitting the heavy armor, which is being healed faster than it's taking damage. All the way over here, we have the other Bloggle firing away. No, that's the tank, and those are the anti-missile missiles going after the enemy anti-missile missiles. That's going to be odd. Continue. Taking a lot of damage there. Both of the minicorns are now aiming at this. It's doing a lot of damage, but it is getting through. Is it going to be able to hit the corn? The corn is actually sinking because of the laser fire. So it may simply dodge it. Oh, almost reaching the target, which is now underneath the waves. We are going to be losing that minicorn, mostly because of the laser damage. All of the lasers, though, are now in the water. It seems like they are pretty frail, except for one. Never mind, there is one laser still firing. The enemy mech is currently trying to heal itself. And let's see what's going on over here. Oh, that's cool. That even spins. Really cool design. So far, I have been blown away by the designs of these enemies. They look amazing. There we go. Lots of firepower. Oh, sadly, the main gun there of the tank missing its target. Although I am happy to see just how much damage it did when it hit the mining laser, almost completely destroying it. Guys, I'm guessing you count that as wreckage. Ooh, we could try and capture it, if at least one of the minicorns is still able to be maneuvered. Everyone, off. Are we still able to move? Yes, we are. Okay, then let's try to capture their mech. Oh no! I think it just destroyed itself! No, it's too late. We should have done this earlier, although the fight was still going on, so of course I didn't want to assume manual control at that point. We are getting a lot of resources. We have lost a bit, and we do have to repair the other minicorn. But that was definitely a favourable exchange. Their lasers didn't seem strong enough. It did sink one of the minicorns by destroying its ammo cache, but that was about it. Though, to be fair, we did have a lot of firepower, and the tank is an absolute beast right now, it seems. So happy with that. Oh god, the tank has took damage. The tank almost lost its turret, so never mind. I must have missed a lot of the laser fire against the tank. Wow, that's costing me a fortune. Okay, so never mind, they did a little bit better than I expected. They almost took out a minicorn, and they almost took out the tank. Although the tank must have been tanking almost all of the damage. Okay, let's go and capture their resource zone. A bit of pirating. Well, this is something new. So it turns out I wasn't going mad, which isn't the thing which is new, although that may be new as well, but also these forces are actually defending the gathering pod. I can't simply drag them out. At least, I don't think I can. Now that is very, very curious indeed, and actually incredibly annoying, because most likely it means I'm not going to get a chance to harvest the gathering pod myself, to simply capture it, because it's going to be a huge battle. Also, this area is really bad looking in terms of fighting. But they will have no problem, since they're all flyers. This may end up going badly. Let's see if I can position myself in a way which I won't crash into everything. My main concern is for the subs. They don't do overly well at avoiding things. Can anyone see the problem with the minicorn right now? Yes, it's flying. The reason is I've placed it somewhere which apparently has no land, but then when the battle's loaded in, the land has popped into existence and thrown it into the air. So yeah, this is the second battle then, and sadly I couldn't lure these out of their hiding place. Now thankfully, the mine droppers have so far not been a large threat, so our only concern really is this little bugger, which apparently is currently facing the wrong way. I don't know why it's facing the wrong way, but I plan to take as much advantage of this as possible. So, begin. The tank is there in the middle, already firing, and landing a couple of small shots on the furthest target. Okay, both of the minicorns are going hard into the enemy laser, and have already killed it! I am so happy with these turrets. Oh lord. Yep, well, that's glitching out horribly. One of the mine droppers is now AI dead. Fantastic. The other one is already 2 damaged. And the third one is following it very, very quickly. That was very quick. Okay, all off. The enemy gathering pod has taken a little bit of damage, but is still alive. My god, you guys are like a strike force. That was so efficient. Okay, then, ooh, I think... Yep, okay, mines are hitting us. Oh, the mine dropper actually managed to hit us. Did I just lose a minicorn? Well, it certainly took a lot of damage. Hopefully it can repair in time so we can get to the enemy, because obviously the other one is currently glitching out in a piece of land. Okay, so I got a little bit impatient, so now instead of the minicorn, we're using the tank, because let's face it, the tank is the way of the future. Now, if anyone's curious what the bugged out minicorn looks like, it looks like this. I also can't jump anymore, and I'm stuck in my seat. Yep, we're just sort of trapped in a layer of rock. I mean, it looks cool at least. Okay, I just want this to fall out of the air, nothing else. I mean, I didn't want it to hit us either, but that was actually pretty darn perfect. So, I was just looking back at that last little clip because I noticed something briefly, and it turns out at some point I had managed to disconnect these two from the mainframe, but not those two. So it wasn't in mirror mode. I must have been replacing some of the weapon systems and completely knocked out all the attachments. Okay, well, we've all seen this before. I'll be back in a second once I've slowly broke my way through the top section of here. No idea what happened to that jump then. That was kind of ridiculous. Come on, just go before I have to go back again. Thank you, finally. That took so long. Now, quickly, please, let's jump back on here to heal up. Thank you. Charging. Okay, there we go. We have the harvester again. That took like 6 minutes. If I have ever wanted to lower the difficulty, it's when I'm doing something like that. When you know you've already won, and it's just taking too much time. Okay, so... wow, that looks so trippy when you're damaged. So, let's get that repaired, and let's move on to the next resource zone before the enemy does send us an attack. How much longer until the enemy attacks us anyway? So there's the Fortress Strength, which I believe should be increasing. Yep, there it goes. That seems really slow. Have I lowered it by mistake or something? Campaign options? No, we are still 1 times difficulty, 2 times enemy growth factor, 0.01 for destroying enemies. Nope, that's what I wanted in the first place. That just seems a tad slow, that's all. That seems very sluggish. Oh, there we go, finally sending an attack our way. So it needs to get all the way to 50. Oh dear, okay. You start moving back. Annoyingly, that seems really quick.
Moving out.
It's using a hauler, a mine sprinkler, a mining laser, and a hauler. I'm not sure what the haulers are. Oh, this is going to be really difficult. Also, I forgot to reset these guys' speed, so I need to do that very quickly. All of you, because you were glitching out before. Fleet move, so hopefully that will up your speed back to its normal rate in just a second. Already at 4, okay. So that will only take a second, and then we can get going again. Well, we're definitely going to lose our balloon, but let's just hold the enemy there for a moment. It turns out they weren't increasing in speed because one of the minicorn, once again, was stuck in land. Okay. Okay. Okay, now they can move properly. That took a little while to figure out what was going on there, honestly. 50 seconds. Okay, so let's just get all of our forces lined up here at least. Hopefully it'll go against that. If it doesn't, we'll just have to meet them in the island. Well, begin the battle, I suppose. That will end in a few seconds, but let's have a quick look-see at the enemy then. Oh, that was painful. So there goes our little balloon satellite thing. So what is the hauler? I'm assuming it's that flyer? A lot of flyers from this team. Oh, it's got harpoons. Okay, but it looks very frail, actually. One good shot here will likely go through and damage this. Against regular metal, because we have so many armor-penetrating shots, as you saw against the Gathering Pod, regular metal just doesn't stand a chance. And since they don't have shields, that means they're going to be absolutely destroyed. These are just frail anyway, so one good shot kills them. Okay, I'm not too worried about this group. Not at all. And there is the enemy. Okay, as long as you can hold that for just a little while longer, we can bring in all of our forces to destroy the enemy. And so the battle begins with all of our forces ready, and it looks like the Blargles are okay. That's good to see. So let's have a quick look-see then. So there are the 2 loaders. The 2 enemy lasers are actually very close together. If we're lucky, they may be able to hit each other. And of course, there's the mine sprinkler. Arguably one of the least threatening enemies so far, except for that once when they did a little bit of damage after the fight was already over. I may have been holding onto the guns just then. Okay, so the tank is completely focusing there on the top hauler and is doing a remarkable amount of damage. Here come the Blargle missiles after the same target, but sadly the enemy did dodge a good amount of them, but the other Blargle is now also firing at the same target, and a lot of damage has been done. Amazingly, not downing it though. Apparently a little less squishy than I thought. The laser's doing a lot of work against one of our Minicorn, and it seems like the anti-missile missiles are going after their harpoons, which is fantastic, although it doesn't seem like they're really in range anyway. One of the Minicorns has been sunk. I really do need to work on that. Apparently, even with the hydrofoils, as soon as the hull is breached, they seem to instantly sink, which so far has actually been more of a benefit than a detriment. Hard word to say there for me, but yeah, still should fix that. These can take an absolute beating. What on earth is going on here? Did not expect that. Seems like their missiles are glitching out a little bit though. Oh, unless they've stuck to the floor of the ocean, since it is very, very shallow water here. One of the Minicorns there, gently nudging our tank, because why not? No way can you stay airborne with only one rotor. That is not going to happen. The mine sprinkler there has survived and is actually about to bombard our tank. This may go really bad. Our health is still looking good though. Our health is still looking very, very good. There we go, the mine sprinkler is dead, but not before doing a crippling amount of damage there to the back of the Minicorn. And there goes all of its movement, and so it is indeed sinking. The tank has lost... I don't know what's happened there, but the tank has took a lot of damage as well. Not only from being rammed, but also the laser damage early on, and then the mines. Though thankfully, it does seem like both of the last enemies are just sort of coasting around with no weapon systems, so it is now just a matter of time before we do take them out. I should not have underestimated these. These are actually pretty darn good. Very tanky. It seems like one thing I really need to do is tweak the AI of the base of the tank, because at the moment, it will try to get directly underneath flyers if they go too close to it, which means it simply sits there doing absolutely nothing. So that will be fixed, and thankfully it's a very, very easy fix as well. One of the flyers is already down, and now here we go, everything's firing at the second, it should be taken down soon, and then I've got some serious repair work to do. Finally a hit from the main cannon, and now half of it is gone, and it's desperately trying to keep itself pretty much stable. And then again, another hit from the main cannon. There we go, finally. So, things we need to fix. Okay, so the tank AI needs work. And again, these are the first few battles with the tank, so I completely forgot that would be an issue. The Blargles need more ammo, even now, even after they have been upgraded. And the Minicorn, they actually just need to be lighter. That's their major issue. Even with the hydrofoils, they're struggling greatly to stay above the waterline, and as soon as they take enough damage, which can be as little as 10%, they then begin to slowly descend into the depths, which isn't particularly good. So I'm going to do that after this video, because I think it's a little bit too much work, and then simply retrofit the designs currently in the campaign. But at least we have learned the flaw of our vehicles before the game gets more difficult. Oh, come on. We are under attack by another group. Okay then, I can't even see what they are because we don't currently have our balloon. High altitude bomber, mine sprinkler, hauler, and mine sprinkler. Okay, so this isn't going to go well. Now, I know I've said that in the past, but right now, none of our ships are reloaded. None of them. And all of them, with the exception of the Blargles, of course, use belt-fed loaders, which means they can't fire and reload at the same time. So, for a good period of time at the start of this battle, unless it has been enough time, which I doubt, we're not going to be firing. We might be able to fire. It all depends on how fast they reloaded during that last little break. Okay, the Blargles can fire, of course. The tank can fire, because it was firing at the end, but probably not for too long. What on earth are you? Oh, you're the high-altitude bomber, which apparently is working fine now. Oh, no, this is the wrong bomber. I was thinking of the one from the previous faction. These have always worked. I've just been lucky with taking them out early. Okay, begin. Well, continue, I suppose. Well done, tank. You missed. Oh, you missed nothing. You were hitting something behind me. Never mind. You hit even with the main shot. Whoops-a-daisy. There's me thinking you were missing everything. Okay, the high-altitude bomber is down. Few misses here and there. They actually seem to have a lot of trouble firing at the hauler. They are very difficult to hit. Oh my lord, those are mines. Oh crud. You know that time when I said the mine sprinklers weren't all that scary? Yeah. We're losing that minicorn. There is no doubt in my mind we are losing that again. Missiles, ho! There we go, good. Good, that's it, straight in the center there. Oh, that hauler is a nightmare. Minicorn. Look at all of those mines. That is ridiculously awesome when it actually works. Oh, yeah, absolutely shattering the armor there of the Minicorn. The Minicorn is pretty much dead at this stage. Thankfully, one of the mine sprinklers there taking critical damage from a combination of shells and missiles. Where's the tank? Okay, good, the tank's still alive. Oh, what a lovely hit there from the main cannon. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Oh no, you're going for the minefield. Oh no, the tank is going to die and the tank costs a fortune. Again, we just had no ammo. The shots were so sporadic at the start. How's the Blargle doing? Good, the Blargle's doing fine. Oh, it does have a little gun on the back. Never mind. I didn't realize the hauler did actually have a gun. It's just a very small gun. These have not been my proudest battles, honestly, showcasing all of the weaknesses of my designs. I think the issue is, so far we have been, I think it's safe to say, without being too, without being too silly, we have been pretty much crushing every single fight. Until now, and because of that, we haven't really seen the weaknesses being shown. Now I can see them, I can fix them. And boy, do they need fixing. Need ammo, please. Neither of those can fire. Finally, thanks to a good hit from the tank, down goes the hauler. I'm also not 100% happy with the detection systems, honestly. They're certainly doing the job. Well, now I can't see a thing. But they do get fooled very easily by very fast movements. They're very good at more methodical things. Now, thankfully, we did get a lot of resource there, but boy, are we going to need some serious repairs again. Everyone repair, please. As fast as you can. Oh, and once again, I can't be on the tank because it spawns me on the turret, which isn't close enough to the Heartstone. It's a really silly thing, even when the game is offline. Well, the repair's just finished, and we do still have a fair bit of resource, so overall, today was a huge success, but I really need to look at my designs and do some work with them, because right now, they're flawed. The flaws are seemingly not all that bad, and normally, in most battles, they haven't even shown themselves, but when they do show themselves, it could be game-ending. It could be a matter of life and death, and then a minicorn starts to sink, or the tank goes underneath an enemy flyer, or we simply run out of ammo because I don't have enough ammo clips. Although, with the ammo clip thing, that's why our guns are so powerful, though. The belt-fed loaders allow for 1,000 plus rounds per minute from every single one of those turrets. The downside is you can't reload while firing unless you do a very weird system with the delays on reload with the belt-fed loaders, but that can be a bit funny, and normally you need to have a larger gun for that to really work correctly. And even then, it can slow down the fire rate. Either way, I think our creations are good. I just need to work on them. But I am all out of time for today's episode, so if you have enjoyed, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that From the Depths is a series you would like to see continued in the future. In the next episode, we are going after the last resource zone so they can no longer spawn things against us. Since apparently they sent 2 attacks in the space of a few minutes, which is really weird, and then we are going to kill their HQ before moving on to the next enemy. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.